Schemy here. Who else would it be? And this is my daily open analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I hope we've had a good week. This is going to be the second video, technically the first video, I guess, public facing. I did a video similar to this kind of style for my premium members. If you are not in my premium group, check that out. It's going to be my link in the bio, either on YouTube or on X. So check that out. Now, we are going to cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Some of you may know that this used to be called the mini market video. I'm kind of going to do a soft rebrand on that, and nothing's going to be really new. Again, it's mainly front facing. It's going to be posted on YouTube from now on. So we will just get started, because one of the things I'm trying to do is to be more concise. So we'll also be concise and get started. So first of all, we were looking at this from the daily candle right here. One of the things is we closed bullishly, so that, I guess, that wasn't too bad. Didn't really feel like a bullish day. Actually, it's pretty good performing for a Monday. I thought that we would kind of have more of a red day than I thought. It ended up being okay, and I think that that's good for the bulls from the outset to have a good performing day. It's performing pretty well so far, as well, with Bitcoin hovering right around the 1% marker, Solana up a little bit over that versus the rest of them. A lot of coins are performing well. Now, it does tend to change one way. It could go up higher or lower, but there's a lot of variables when it comes to the intraday, which is usually around U.S. stocks open, that we tend to see some changes. And so we'll see if this stays or it doesn't. That's not really what I want to care to look at, because I look for the daily closes. And so, but the daily close from yesterday did pretty good. Current is not too bad. And it's kind of where we're at for the daily. We're kind of stuck within this range. And so I do want to kind of zoom out briefly to the 1 week. And this is kind of our range here. We have a lot of ranges going on. This is your top range here, your swing high order block, or SHAB is what I call it. This is your swing low, or this is also a swing high order block from the previous zone, okay? You have your fib block right here, which is really what we need to be looking at. So I'm going to delete these two. This is your main context point, right? And this right here is going to be your other level from basically the highs of the weekly to the lows in the daily, okay? And so we can view it a few different ways. I think that's a good way to look on it. If you want to look at it from a price action only perspective, this is from the weekly. This is what you're going to be looking at instead, okay? So downside of about 8,478, or let's just round up to 80,500. If we go below 80,500, obviously we're going to be visiting the sevens again, but that's probably going to go even lower to the 74,000 range. That's something that we've talked about for over a month now, almost 2 months. And quite frankly, I would prefer just to get down to that point. There's a lot of analysis going on. There's a lot of tariff talk as well, saying that could be the problem. And I actually think that there could be some truth to that. I think that, and I'm one that normally would disagree, right? But it's happened for so long. I think people are starting to kind of get a little weary of the price action, not just in crypto, but also in stocks. I think people are afraid. People are afraid to buy homes. People are afraid to buy extra stocks, even though stocks aren't down terribly much. But the crypto stocks in particular are very, very bad. I have a crypto stock portfolio, and it's one of my worst performing portfolios that I've ever had in the last 8 years. So, and hopefully that recovers, and I think that it will. This is the end of Q1, by the way. We're going to officially be into Q2, and at the time of this recording, we have entered Q2. I think that this is going to be, the Q2 is going to be an improvement. I will be doing a quarterly analysis. It's something I started last quarter. I'm going to continue to do that. I had a lot of good feedback from that. I'm going to keep doing that. So look out for that. Go ahead, if you are on YouTube, subscribe, and then look for that video, because it should be coming here within the next 48 hours. I probably will be a day late for that, mainly because I want to get a robust report, because it is a quarterly report, right? So this is on the weekly. On the daily, we have this zone here. We've kind of pushed back and forth. It's not really respecting the weekly, which makes this frustrating. That's one reason why the market is just not working for a lot of people, including myself. I'm getting frustrated. A lot of other people are as well. And this is where it kind of ties in, right? And so um, it's going to do things you don't want it to do, and that's just the market in general. It's just we all are coming to an agreement, okay? And that's why sentiment is so important here. And so we'll see where that goes. I mean, we do kind of technically have like head and shoulders forming up here. So here's your shoulder, here's your head, here's your other shoulder. So we'll see. I don't like head and shoulders necessarily, and mainly because it needs to confirm and all that, but we'll see where that goes. Could that be hopium? There's a chance that that is. Could be seeing something that I don't necessarily care. I do consider head and shoulders as kind of a weaker type of probabilities. I look at things as a probability spectrum. So you have lower end probabilities on this side, midterm probabilities, high term. And so I look at all as like a spectrum, right? Or you can look at it vertically, whichever you want, right? So I focus on high probability trades. If it's not high probability, I'm not interested. So head and shoulders, kind of a higher low, like somewhere between low and mid. And so take it for what you will. If you wanted to work on that, I'd wait for that confirmation there. And so for me, this would really just match up with price action anyway. Looking at something like this, targeting like so, and then going beyond. That's kind of what I'm looking at with that. So we'll see. Now, as far as Arun here, is we have a, when you have the blue marker here and the black one down, that is called a bearish consolidation. With this right here, we're at a 42 and 0, so that's a 42% or percentile on the bearish consolidation. So that's slightly below average. We should see a little bit weakened chop here, and it could be a favor of the bulls. Now the RSI is probably more important to me. We're only at about 43, almost 44. That needs to get above the 50 for me to have some confidence in the market. I still think we need to kind of wait and see. And I think most people agree with me. Most people are not trading this. And even if we can get above this zone, which would help, which would be 84.7, it's not ideal, right? And so what I would really prefer on the daily here is to get above this 89,000. That's quite a ways away, right? And so I think it might just be best to take it easy, okay? Unless you are a high frequency trader, I don't know if this is a good time to trade at all. I think on a scale between 1 to 10, this is like a 1 or 2. Okay. Now, I think DCA might be a little bit more of an opportunistic, thing, if that's something that you're looking forward to. Okay. I bought some Bitcoin recently as part of a DCA, and I think that could be just fine. But as far as this goes, we're still kind of in no man's land. I would prefer a push above 89,000, but a push above, 84.5 or 84.7 would be as good as well. At least get us some momentum going. So that is Bitcoin. Let's go to Ethereum. Now Ethereum here, I talked about this on the weekly in another video, that we have a bullish divergence here, and this is not bad. I would prefer to get a bullish candle here. If we do, that gives us a good chance to run up. Now the bad thing is we're kind of in no man's land here. This is not really, in my experience, not a good place for this to bounce. It tends to come back down, so which would be about 1590, but ideally we're still in this range. 1590 downside, upside 2122. Would love to get that 2122 above it, and so you can play a weekly divergence if you want to. I don't think that's a bad idea considering how far we are on the spectrum on the RSI, but it's up to you. And that's high probability usually, so we'll see. On the daily, you pretty much have the zoomed in version of that. We want to reclaim above this. So if you did want to play the divergence, playing above this, which would match my band, would be about 1939. That's kind of where we're looking at, right? And you could put your stop loss at the lows. You could target the mids of this previous range. You got a nice solid 3.2 R at 30%. I think that's relatively healthy. Even for something as lackluster as Ethereum, I think that's still just fine. So let's go to Solana here, about 1.2% performing for the day so far. Data started. We also have a bullish divergence as well. And this one's looking a little bit, this one's still holding relatively close to the lows of this previous range. So you can kind of ignore this mid for now, at least until it breaks. And this is what that looks like to the downside. Actually, we just closed below it, but we're still within this range here. Ideally, I would prefer to wait until we get above that 135 And this is where, and the reason being is you kind of want to have these confirmations, right? You want to take a chance on things going down further and further and further, or just chopping for 3 months and you lose fees, or you just lose interest, or you forget about it. This is much healthier. Got a confirmation here. If you do, it's got a 2.3 R position at 26%. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. Go ahead and hit me up. If you're in Discord, give me a chat. Let me know what you think, or if you have anything that you want to say. Hit me up in Discord, okay? Because if you want to talk to me about this video directly, that's where you need to do it. That's where all my Apex members hang out, and then we can discuss things and maybe dive deeper if you would like. So, and if you like this video, check out tomorrow's video, because I'm going to be doing this 5 days a week. So let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.